Hello everyone. I'm Namrita. I'm from India, and we are Hues of the Mind. We work for serving mental health. We aim to serve mental health aid in the form of therapy and education to people all across the world. Uh, Here are a few stats that I would like to start off with. Uh, this is what we saw, and we realized that the people who are the most severely affected by climate change are the ones least responsible for it. This led us to start our newly launched project, that is EcoMind. Much like all our other projects, we try to make mental health care and education as accessible as possible. So here's how we work. Uh, we want to support the change makers in terms of mental health by providing them the motivation that they might need, providing the required help that they need. Uh, in most cultures, including my own, seeking any kind of help, let alone especially mental health, is looked down upon, and is highly stigmatized. For those who manage to come out of that stigma, fight that battle, and then are willing to reach out for help, they find it difficult as it's not available easily to them, it's not accessible, it's not affordable, and they don't have the time to physically go to a therapist. We are trying to solve this by making it affordable, one, and making most of our help available online, not just the therapy sessions, which is the most obvious form of help, but also education. Most of our workshops that we conduct are conducted online, so people can attend them from wherever they are without having to commute, without having to without taking up much of their time. So this is how our website looks. Honestly, what we would really love, if anyone here is listening to us, needs any kind of help or knows anyone that needs any kind of help, please reach out to a friend, a family member, or if possible, professional help. If you would like to reach out to us, this is how you can do so. This is our website, huesofthemind.live, Live. You can see it here. We have research papers, we have different resources. There are, you can educate yourself, you can help yourself, help others whom you need. You can receive counseling. You can receive care for anxiety and other trauma-related diseases, illnesses. Uh, Here with this EcoMind, we are focusing on eco-anxiety. Uh, my time is up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful effort. You can hand this to one of the volunteers. Thank you. Next up is Maroon Hamami from Cure Bionics, working on 3D printed bionic prosthetics. How exactly? He's going to tell us. Thank you.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Maroon Hamami. I'm representing Cure Bionics today, which is a medtech startup based in Tunisia, and has a mission to democratize access to assistive technologies. So our startup has the Startup Act label, which gives advantages for startups, like zero taxes on revenues for 8 years. And globally, there's one limb amputation every 90 seconds. But unfortunately, there's more than 90% of them can't afford a functional prosthetic. And that is due to the very expensive cost of the prosthetics, the long waiting time, the unadjustable sizes, especially for children, and the poor design. Plus, there's no local distributor, there's no local producers in Africa and MEA region, Middle East region. There's only distributors. For that, we designed an amazing bionic arm with an innovative fitting process and at home 2D games for rehab and training. So our Hannibal version series has two versions. They are 3D printed. They are ultra-weight, master controlled, and available in 3 sizes. And they have a high autonomy. They are also customizable and have multi-grip functionalities. We have multiple sockets, and they are designed to be fitted easily and adjustable, and they are also 3D printed. Our design is fully customizable, and we have skin gloves, skin-like gloves made of silicone and plastic covers with magnets, and available in left and right sides. So our B2B partners will be able to equip the patients in less than 3 days, thanks to our innovative process. So the B2B business has to, our partners have only to produce a 3D scan of the amputee limb, and we will give them back a 3D printable file for a socket. For rehab and to learn how to use the prosthetic, we developed a 2D game that connects to a bracelet, and it's easy to use and fun. So I'm going to skip this. Basically, we are seeking 1 million euros of an investment to marketing, production, R&D, and obtain regulatory approvals and hiring the needed talent. Thank you.
Right on time. Thank you so much, and all the best. Now, next up, we have Thomas John from Landcent Europe, who's fighting diseases with residual sprays, bed nets, and anti-malaria pills, and probably a lot more than that, but he's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. So yes, my name is Thomas, and I'm representing Landcent Europe, a social enterprise based in the Netherlands. It was back in 2011 when our CEO, on a business trip to Kenya, found himself at a funeral home of a 4-year-old girl. She had died from malaria, mosquito bite essentially. And it was a transformational moment. He quit his job and together with his business partner started Landcent. 5 years later, they were back in Kenya attending the National Kenya Malaria Elimination Strategy. Now, malaria is a crisis hidden in plain sight. The number of cases of malaria are growing every year. 1,700 people die every day from malaria. And given the fact that a majority of them are children, it roughly equates to a child dying every minute from malaria every single day. And so that makes it a human rights issue for Landcent as much as an issue of disease elimination. The reason why malaria is growing, there are several reasons, but the two that we like to focus on is growing insecticidal resistance and the lack of product innovation in the space. And Landcent's mission is to tackle these two head-on. So our long-term strategy, we have an active ingredients discovery platform where we screen natural compounds and indigenous knowledge systems across the world. We've started with China, and this project is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We have screened over 200,000 compounds, 21 of which are in advanced phase trials. In the Product Innovation Fund, we looked at a suite of proven existing solutions, and we decided to make next generation versions of these products. So as an example, Durus, our indoor residual spray, has twice the residual effect of other competitor products. Our products are very close to market entry, 2025, 2 of them get to market, and then the subsequent year, 2 more. So well past the risk stage. We have a diverse and accomplished leadership and advisory team, entomologists, pharmacologists, entrepreneurs, scientists, and so on. We have invested over 18 million to date, and our revenues are projected at 60 million in 2026, in excess of 60 million, and we'll break even in the same year as well. We have raised 5 million last year, and we're looking to raise another 10 million to close our Series A, and that's also why we're here. Because of the nexus between malaria and poverty, you treat malaria and you address a whole host of SDGs, and so there's a whole variety of them, and our impact is very precise and measurable. 182 million people protected, including 65 million children by 2028 from our products alone. Our business model is validated, and we have a number of partnerships. So join with us, and looking forward to engaging with you all. Thank you.
Amazing work. Thank you so much. And what a clear vision. Thank you. Up next and last in this round of pitches is Eric Durvaux of AbilyCare. Your time to shine.
Okay. So, to give you some context, in most Western countries we have some issues with our health system at the moment. I'm pretty sure wherever you come from, you have some issues. Here are a few figures for France. An increasing life expectancy, so that's not an issue, that's a good thing. But also a cost of dependency for elderlies that is also growing. A decline in the birth rate, more and more chronic disease, and more and more patients that go to rehab facilities in hospitals. And if we show how is it going to be in the next years, have a look at the age pyramid. It's not going to be any better. So our health system will not be able to support the burden and cost of a responsive healthcare system that we have now. And it's clear that we have to switch to another model where we have more preventive care that takes care of the people before they get too sick or too frail. So how do we do that? Oh. Well, we quantify the thing. We put data on it. We're in the era of data, and that's what we intend to do. So here is our measurement kit, where we can measure the balance, the equilibrium, the strength in a few minutes, and it's all fit in a small cabin luggage. So you can go anywhere with it. You don't have to bring people to a big healthcare center with heavy equipment. You can do it in any village, any town. And that's something that is really interesting today. So of course we can do that at all ages. We don't wait to be old to get sick. And so for instance, we have more than 120,000 accidents at work due to falls. So it's more than a car accident. And this is one of the three main reasons for people getting away from work. So we can do it in rehabilitation, we can do it for aging and evaluating frailty of people. I think I don't have that much time to finish. So I think we are in the era of data. We have wonderful tools, generative AI, and we need to get the data to get started with this and have the evolution of people.
Thank you very much. You'll also have the chance to continue in the networking area after this session, but please stay with me on stage. I'd love to ask all the changemakers back up here for a quick round of Q&As. You, the jury, you have microphones in front of you, and I would like to ask you to ask away any question that you might have, and we have about 7 to 8 minutes for this. Please. Yeah. The microphones for the jury don't work. Should work now?
Hello?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
First, great job, everyone. Thank you so much for the energy and passion you bring. My question is for Landcent Europe. You mentioned you're sourcing the natural ingredients from indigenous communities. I want to understand how your profit margin and how your future revenue stream is going to benefit those communities who are providing the materials for your
Yes.
for your malaria treatments.
Yes.
Let me understand how they benefit from your business model.
Sure. So I'm able to give you a little more details in person, but a rough idea is that we have a innovative patent sharing model where 2 things that we're going to do. One is that we're going to ensure that we work with local communities, say the local scientists. in a local university, and the patents will be shared with them, and we that's as opposed to the idea of biopiracy and patent monopoly, which are two things that we're extremely aware of that we need to tackle head on. And so that's kind of an approach that we're really building as an ethical foundation into our platform from the get-go.
Wonderful to
But
hear.
I know that's your background. I'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for your pitches. That was very exciting to hear your stories. My question is actually for you both, Cure Bionics and AbilyCare. I would like to understand who you're selling to and what's the status on reimbursement and social security. Is that covered? Is it partly at the end user cost, or how does that work?
Shall I start? Okay.
Yeah, please.
So for Cure Bionics, we are selling to businesses that are distributors too. Basically, we are targeting the African region, Middle East, and Europe. For now, we are working on our CE marking so that we can get the regulatory approvals for that. That's why we need the funding. And for reimbursement, we are still working on that. For now, we didn't reach that level yet. We are working on optimizing the cost of the manufacturing of the prosthetics, and we will be working on that later in a later stage.
Well, reimbursement, that's a topic, and but it depends a lot of. I mean, how this health system is funded is different from one country to another. But how far are we? So far, we have a CE marked device, so we are in the transition phase from the European directive to the regulation. So that's in process. We already have we had the CNE1 mark before, and so we can sell. Who do we sell to? We sell to rehabilitation facilities. So this is the establishment who buys. No reimbursement there, but they can often get fundings for investment. So that's another way to get the device funded. And then for aging, so far, there is no device that gets reimbursement for that. So we try to work with social actors like the Mutuelle in France or prevention centers. And we do projects with them. We have 2 projects with the top 3 major mutuelle in France going on, and already a few thousand patients that have been using the device.
Wonderful. I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your pitch as well. I was just very keen to hear more about EcoMind and your product on the eco-anxiety that you were looking at addressing, and I wasn't sure exactly what the product was about and how you were intervening on this anxiety, and if you have any metrics on the impact that the curriculum has, I would love to hear about it.
Okay, it's an extension of it's an extension of a lot of other projects that we're also working on. EcoMind focuses on eco-anxiety, which is, like I said, in the more developing areas, in the areas that where people can't really do as much as it is possible in the other developed countries to make a change. There's a lot of anxiety because there's a helplessness that we don't know what to do, we can't do anything, and for the ones who are trying to make a change, there's not enough motivation, there's not enough resources and all of that. So we are trying to address this issue from a mental health point of view, wherein we provide help, support. It's like if you think of like a sports psychology, right? You motivate, you give the background support to a sportsman to perform their sport. Similarly, here for people who are fighting for climate change, people who are trying to do something about climate change, we are looking at giving them therapeutic support, of course, but aside from that, education, motivation, group therapy support. During our study of eco-anxiety, we found that it's of course it's not a diagnosable illness yet, but it is it has very similar symptomatology to trauma-related illnesses, right? And not all of us are aware of the level of effect it has on the smaller communities, the poorer communities, and the more underprivileged sections of the society. that's what we try to, those are sections that we're trying to target. I'm sorry, you asked me how is it? What was the question?
Maybe 1 or 2 more sentences?
Okay, how we would do this is because we would reach out, we conduct a lot of workshops, we reach out to organizations that are already in this area, already trying to do something about it. We reach out to schools, colleges, and we conduct workshops there. We leave them with the resources that they can reach out to help, reach out to us for help if they need. If not, we give them the education and at least make them aware of the resources that are available for them if they want.
Okay, wonderful. Maybe 1, maximum 2 more questions, but over to you.
Okay, Landcent Europe, so big issue that you're trying to deal with. You've started to say about the problem you understand if it's systemic. Beyond what you're working on, what else needs to happen for this to have the change?
Well, because it's a poverty-related disease, systems is really the right way to go about it. And I think from an entrepreneurial point of view, I think we need more entrepreneurs who can understand and participate with intra-sectoral collaboration, work with technology, but also with education, understand the gender aspect of the illness, and so you need to have a more holistic kind of understanding and approach from an entrepreneurial point of view, which I think is somewhat missing. There are people who just have one particular idea and they think, oh, that's like the magic bullet, and there's lots of funding, and clearly that just does not work. So I think that would be one particular.
Excellent answer.
Very short last question.
It's a super last, short and last question. What's, like, in one word, your heaviest challenge today?
1 word challenge. You go, you start.
I think it's still funding.
Funding?
I would say ignorance.
I would say talent.
And I would say people mindset.
Okay, wonderful.
In the population.
Big round of applause for our health change makers. Thank you so much.